How you doing, folks? Hope you're doing well. Just a bit of a discussion about this new COVID lockdown in the UK. Yeah, same degree of stupidity again. Well, now talk radio has now been banned from YouTube. So the radio station that's just questioning things has been banned from YouTube for questioning things, basically. Crazy. Talk about having one of those dictatorial states, really. Really, really bad. Not good at all. Oh dear. Yes. It's what it is, isn't it, nowadays, yeah. If you question things, you're against it. You're against all the safe things, apparently, which of course you're not. Oh dear. I did say the other day I'd try and see the death rates of winter from previous years. Well, thankfully, Julie HartleyBrewer supplied a graph from 2016 to now. And what she's shown is that, according to the numbers, there should have been a lockdown in 2017, January, because the numbers of deaths from flu were far greater than the numbers of COVID are right now, or deaths. And then same in 2018. Numbers in 2018 were greater than what they were in 2017. And higher numbers in January than what they are right now. Of course, the graph also shows in 2019-20 where the numbers spiked. Well, that's because that's when COVID really hit the UK and we weren't prepared for it in any way, shape or form. Well, actually, no. What that shows is really in January 2019. Although, that won't be January. It will be 2019, 2020, so that'd be winter. So probably around March-ish, February, March, that would have been. Yeah, because at that time, that's when the hospitals were cleared of elderly people and they were shoved back into old people's homes. And they had corona, and they were taking corona back with them into the old people's homes. And of course, that then wiped a lot of old people's homes clear of old people. And that's where an awful lot of deaths came from. Thousands upon thousands of elderly people dying because a few thousand were cleared from hospital with the virus, cleared back into old people's homes without a care in the world. Absolutely without a care in the world. Just put them back in the old people's homes, they'll be fine there. Get them out of the hospitals so the hospitals will be free, and we can have the hospitals there for people that need it. Basically condemning these elderly people to death. Not just the elderly people you put back in the homes, but all the people in the homes that are going to get the virus from them anyway. A disgusting, despicable act. Well, it could be classed as mass murder. But since then, the numbers have been low. And interestingly, the numbers from flu, basically, let's read this 1 second. Graft. Right. Weekly observed and expected numbers of all cause deaths in all ages with the dominant circulating respiratory virus. England, 2016 to week 52, 2020. So, So flu, that sort of thing. Flu, cold, and COVID. Covers those. So, yeah. Go on to her Twitter page, Julie Hartley, then hyphen, then Brewer, and you can see the graphs yourself there. It is quite interesting where look at the line of, I'll tell you about the number of deaths, and it's very, very similar. In 2018, the numbers were lower. 2018-19 numbers were lower. 2017-18 numbers were higher than what they are now. 2016-17, the numbers were about the same as what they are now. Maybe a tiny bit higher, not much. They peaked a bit higher. And yet you've got the government now panicking massively when we haven't even got the numbers that they had in 2016-17 or 2017-18. When there wasn't a lockdown then anyway. All that graph points out is that apparently, according to what's happening now, there should have been lockdowns in 2017 and in 2018, but there wasn't. We didn't have lockdowns at all, did we? So, yeah. Really bad. I mean, it'd be interesting to see another graft. And there will be another graft at some point in time where they're going to do a comparison to the amount of people that died needlessly because of government policy concerning the respiratory virus of the time. In 2017, 2018, I imagine that number would have been quite low. 2020, 21, that number is going to be going through the flipping roof. You've got your standard, your heart disease, your cancer, your lung disease, your every other sort of disease, pancreatic disease, liver disease, kidney disease, all that sort of stuff. Then you've got your suicides. What was the suicide rate, therefore, in January 2017, 2018, compared to 2021? That's also going to be very interesting, isn't it, really? I did a video yesterday about suicide, about why that is not a good idea. But there are people at the moment being pummeled and pummeled and pummeled and pummeled and pummeled by this government right now. The government says, oh, but we're furloughing all these people that are out of work. No, you're not. There's over 3 million people that are being furloughed. They miss out. They don't get the money. But every time you lock down, they still have their whole way of making money taken away from them. They have the rug pulled from under their feet. Which is threatening their family. Threatening their home. That's a stupid advert on YouTube right now, asking what is a home. And the questions it asks are the most stupid blinking questions. A home is supposed to be your refuge. It's supposed to be the place you go to escape the crap of the world. It's supposed to be your place of safety. That's why no one can enter your home unless invited or unless they have a warrant to enter. It's supposed to be your refuge. The problem is people's homes are under threat because of these government policies. And there's no evidence at all. WHO is saying lockdowns don't work. There's other huge agencies like the WHO who are saying Lockdowns are not the way forward. They don't work. And the evidence suggests that they don't particularly work. Well, we've been in lockdown since the 26th, haven't we? 27th of December. So that's not very long, about 9 days. And yesterday, the Prime Minister decided to ramp it up and have an even tougher lockdown. Excuse me, first of all, 9 days, after 9 days, you've not really given that one a chance to work, have you? Really? And you're now going to make it tougher. Why? Because we're in winter, and in winter, people, generally speaking, suffer from respiratory diseases because that's what happens in winter. And so you're going to panic, and you've got that spirit of fear. So therefore, you're being led completely by that. It is a case at the moment that you have to say, for the foreseeable future, forget the vaccine. You've got to forget the vaccine, because the way the politicians are going right now, first of all, we don't know with the vaccine whether... I was watching talk radio this morning. They were talking about the vaccine then. And Julia HartleyBrewer asked someone about the vaccine. What is the vaccine going to do? They don't know. They don't know. They don't know that if you're vulnerable, or if you're over the age of 70, they don't know whether the vaccine is going to protect you from catching COVID in the future, or whether it's just going to protect you from getting the worst elements of COVID. They don't know. And the problem is that they don't know whether it's going to work. Really. It's quite likely that COVID will protect those who aren't really going to suffer from it from getting it. That's quite possible. It may give a very, very mild degree of protection from it. That is quite possible. If that is the case, then we're going to be having these lockdowns for the next year or two. What is that going to do to the economy? I mean, they made an announcement today. I think it's 4 something billion extra they're putting into furloughing. Yeah, they're putting into businesses to keep businesses afloat. $4 billion. £4 billion, sorry. Now, how are they going to get that money back? That's only what they're putting in extra. They must have put in so far around about £20 billion. Billion with a B. How are they possibly going to get that money back? Because if you're talking even that we're going to have lockdowns until maybe March, April sort of time, even if it's only March, April sort of time, you're looking at another 10 billion at least. At least 10 billion being given to businesses to keep them afloat. You'll be looking at a minimum of maybe 60, 70 billion that the UK debt has increased by the time things can open up. At least that. How are they possibly going to pay that back? Where are they going to get the money from to do that? Especially if they've completely decimated the workforce. If you're reckless with the economy, not only will people lose their jobs and lose their ways of financing their home, so they lose their home. Yep. There's going to be a situation really coming out at the time of landlords are finding that people aren't paying rent. Certainly a lot of people that are working and struggling financially, certainly these 3 million people that aren't getting money, they're not paying rent. They either can't afford to pay their mortgage or they can't afford to pay their rent. They're in huge problems. You could have 3 million people made homeless. That's going to be huge. Certainly for the mental and emotional welfare of the people. Going from having a home, having a job, maybe having 1 to 2 holidays a year, and having nothing. Because you fell through the cracks. Now, 3 million people falling through the cracks. That's a lot of people falling through the cracks. It's an awful lot of people falling through the cracks, that is. As I say, there are going to be consequences to these decisions that the government are making. There really are. There will be consequences to these decisions. And they're going to be harsh because, put it this way, the government ministers, they can't afford to pay off the £60 billion debt. They haven't got that money in their pockets or in the sofas. So who's going to have to pay it? We are. Somehow we're going to have to pay it. They're going to have to seriously cut back government spending, which means that schools, hospitals, roads, the police, everything, all those sort of things are going to have to be cut. Benefits are going to have to be cut. They were cut recently anyway. When we had the financial crash caused by the banks, they went after the people on benefits. Instead of going after the people on banks, now really what they should do now is say to the people working at the banks, right, no more bonuses. For the next 5 years you don't get a bonus. You give your bonus to the country, and that's how we pay back the debt. There you go. That would do it. But they were the people that caused the collapse of the economy before. They didn't have to pay for it then, so maybe they should pay for it now. Make them pay for it now. That's fair. There certainly is something spiritual going on with this. Definitely, as I say, we've had viruses that have killed a lot of people before. We've never had lockdowns. Never. Just never happened. We've never done what was done last year. Hospitals being cleared of old people and sick old people with chest infections being sent back to old people's homes to infect all the rest there. Never happened before. Not in that scale. Of course, in 2017 and 18, that could have happened then, but it didn't. Of course, in 2017 and 18, it was people over 70, people with underlying conditions, and sick children that died. Or even young children would have died because if it's flu, children can die of flu. They generally don't die of COVID. Generally. Oh, they had someone on, Matthew Wright was talking the other day about his children have coughs and had quite a nasty cough, and he was saying, so don't tell me that children can't suffer from COVID. But as someone then pointed out, do you know your children actually have COVID, or do they have the flu or the cold? So he couldn't answer that, could he? And yeah, of course, some children will suffer consequences of COVID. Compared to that of adults, no, they don't really. Which is good. Fantastic. Certainly if that is the case, that's brilliant. Yeah. Don't know what's going to happen. I mean, you can take the picture of what's happening in the UK and certainly put it to other nations, because a lot of other nations are doing the same thing and knocking down the population. Crazy thing is, though, with the British government, one of the most insane things that's come out that I've learned today is that the new variant of COVID came from South Africa. The British government learnt this around about the 16th of December. They learnt this, that it came from South Africa. And yet they've only just banned people travelling from South Africa to the UK. Only just 2 weeks later. It took them 2 weeks to ban people, and yet we've been locked down in no time at all. They locked us down on the 27th. 9 days later, they worked out maybe it's not quite strong enough, so make it stronger. They did that quick enough. But people coming into the country from a country where they're bringing in a new variant, well, let's not worry about them for a couple of weeks, eh? Let's let them come in and bring their new variant in. Lovely. Do that. It's insane. If you're going to be tough on people, if you're going to be tough on this virus, and if you're going to take away people's ability to travel and people's ability to do things and go places, well, then don't just do that for people already in. Do that from people coming in who could bring a worse version of the virus. Focus on what's coming into the country, as well as what's already here. People have been worried about the government's ability to get the vaccine out there anyway. But we've been reassured with the information that the army will probably be responsible for that, in which case, that's not too bad. Certainly logistics, they're slightly better at it. Yeah. They're slightly better at logistics than the government are. The government has certainly proved themselves to be pretty awful at logistics, so yeah. Give that side over to people who know what they're doing. That's probably a wise idea there. Probably, yeah. Anyway, there you go. A little bit of talk on this virus and how the government is responding to it. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, as I say, the evidence is that the government has been led by a spirit of fear, and that spirit of fear is a paralysing spirit that causes people to react in extreme ways, which you can certainly say that seems to be happening, and where people are blind to anything other than pure panic. Yeah, that seems to be the case. How long that lasts for, I don't know. It may last until God gives them a smack around the head. We shall see. I imagine that Boris Johnson has had a smack around the head quite a few times. That's probably why his hair is such a mess. So one from God shouldn't hurt him too much. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.